Hello there, and a wonderful day to you. I am Chief Robinson Ario, and once more I'm speaking to you from the oil city of Warri in Delta State of Nigeria. Today we shall be talking about very significant provisions in the Constitution, particularly that provision which I consider as the most valuable gifts that the founding fathers of this country bequeathed to us as a people. I have, in my little years of wandering throughout the land, come to a conclusion that most of those who occupy public offices are not at all familiar with the provisions of the Constitution. Now, I say this with all sense of humility. And indeed, as you will soon see, one of the ways in which people who occupy public offices have turned the constitution, the provision of the constitution upside down, is that as soon as they are voted into power, they set for themselves the objective, the agenda of attracting all the opportunities of the office that they occupy to their village, to their clan, and jettisoning and forgetting the other parts of the local government, of the constituency, of the senatorial district of the country which they represent. And because this subject matter is one that will require a lengthy period of time to talk about, I shall, for today, narrow myself to the provisions of Section 14, subsection 3 and 4, and the schedule in the Constitution that dovetails into those two provisions. Now, we all are witnesses to the agitation about rotation, both at the federal level and at the state level. For today, because of time, we shall narrow ourselves to the provision of the Constitution as it affects the state. Now, we all know that Nigeria, and indeed the example that we are talking about today, which is Delta State, is a multi-ethnic state. And if you look at the wordings of the Constitution, you will see that the framers understand the multi-ethnicity of both Nigeria and some of the peculiar states like Delta State. And the wordings, which should actually be the Bible of each public officer, especially those who are representing senatorial districts, where you have more than one ethnic nationality, should be familiar with. For the avoidance of that, I would like to read Section 14, subsection 4 of the Constitution. It says that the composition of government of a state, a local government council, or any of the agencies of such government or council, and the conduct of the affairs of government or council or such agency shall be carried out in such manner as to recognize the diversity of the people within its area of authority and the need to promote a sense of belonging and loyalty among all the peoples of the federation. Now, the only reason why the framers, why the founding fathers would have put this there is because they understand that by human nature, when some people out of greed occupy positions, they will do only one thing, and that is think of their immediate environment alone at the expense of the wider environment they ought to be representing. And unfortunately, this line, this philosophy, this principle of life has become what a lot of people applaud. Recently, we had somebody from Delta State occupy a very strategic position at the level of the Senate. And you could see that there were a lot of applause for him. For what? For attracting facilities, including higher institutions, to where? To only his immediate constituency. And so you find that it's as if we are completely oblivious of the problems which the framers of the Constitution, our founding fathers, saw while they were, putting these provisions in place. And so the value today appears to be that when a man gets into a place, he is only considered to have performed if he focuses all his energy, all his attention on his village and his clan and forgets about others. Now, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter the position you occupy. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria ought to be the Bible with which you execute whatever action plans you have for the people. And sadly, today, those who do this are those whom the electorates applaud. And those who try to live a life of a widespread concentration, considering all the constituents, irrespective of whether they are of the same ethnic composition as the occupier of the seat, those set of people are considered as failures. And this is why both those who occupy positions and those who follow, those who observe, those who advocate, ought to understand the sensitive nature of representing not only the immediate constituency of the occupant of the seat, but also the wider spectrum of the entire constituency that the person on paper is considered to represent. And so it is critical and important that when you are assessing the performance of an occupant of an office, you should ask yourself why such a person was in that office. How did the person conduct himself or herself? What were the projects that the person used his influence and advocacy skills to attract to the state? And where are these facilities located? If indeed the person attracted certain facilities to the state, and the only place where these facilities are located are his village or his immediate environment, what that means is that when such a person is given an opportunity to govern an entire state, he would replay the feats which he achieved and for which he was applauded while he was doing that job for which he was sent to Abuja to do for an entire senatorial district. And this is important because over the years, the pattern has been that people become governor of Delta State, and the only place where they focus their concentration is their immediate environment. As if those in the other parts of Delta State do not have him as a governor, I mean the occupant of that position. So, like we say in Warri, let us shine our eyes, shine it very well. We cannot allow a person who sees public office as an instrument of his immediate village or clan to assume that seat at this critical point in time. And that is why you see there is so much agitation about turn by turn, which ought not to be. But the fear is that once a man from X zone gets into office, he becomes X zone's governor. Come 2023, we must change our thoughts. As a matter of fact, it is even important to look at the Constitution carefully. The Constitution did not only stop at this point, it went ahead to criminalize, sort of, the non-compliance with this. A whole commission was set up to ensure the monitoring of the benefits and entitlements that are accruable to a state in such a manner that it is administered to ensure that no one group predominates. That is the language of the Constitution, not mine. It says, and I quote again, that is section 14, subsection 4 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended. The composition of the government of a state, a local government council, or any of the agencies of such government or council, and the conduct of the affairs of government or council or such agency shall be carried out in such manner as to recognize the diversity of the people within its area of authority and the need to promote a sense of belonging and loyalty amongst all the people in the federation. Now, if you look at the objective of this provision, it borders on the need to promote loyalty and a sense of belonging among the people. And that is why whoever is occupying a position should not see that position as being an opportunity for him to demonstrate his loyalty towards his village people. It should be his loyalty towards the entire state. And the Federal Character Commission has provided for in Part 1, the third schedule, particularly paragraph 7, spells it out completely that the monitoring should be such as to ensure that those who do not act in such a manner as prescribed here should be dealt with in one way or the other. And so, if I were you, fellow Deltan, if I have looked at all the aspirants that are parading themselves so far, and I look at their track record, I will not vote a person who, while being in office for the past 7 years, has known no other place than his village as a focus for development. When such a person becomes a governor, he's not going to govern the state differently. So I call on you to be on the alert, to watch out for those who have a track record, who have a pattern of focusing only on their villages and clans. Thank you very much for listening, and God bless you.